Hey everyone, it's VM Campos, Magic Fan. Welcome to the stream. Hey Mark, I see you there in the chat, and welcome to everyone. Let's do the usual intro. I'll check out my webcams, my various cameras, to see if everything's good, and then we got some gameplay and more to do. Full screen cam looks pretty good. Web browser cam is running fine. Card cam is okay. It needs a little bit of brightening, maybe. Let's take a moment to do that. So what do we have here? Exposure doesn't seem... Okay, that looks way better, kind of. So we got a pack that we will open a little bit later, a draft booster. And the main game cam over here. Looks good. All right, so the various cams look pretty good. I'm going to do the gold, do some gold digging for the day. There's a different event going on. Actually, I've got a deck to play with, a new deck to play with and tweak, and there's a new event going on, mixed up sealed. So it's some sort of sealed event, but with, it's like a chaos draft. I don't know why they don't use names that everyone else knows, like chaos draft. This is mixed up sealed. So we'll probably play that a little bit. But for the moment, we have cast 20 blue or green spells. I want to get the gold. That'll be our first challenge, get some gold. So we'll just play the usual Jace mono blue deck just to get through that gold quickly. How's everyone doing? I was working on a video earlier as well. It'll be out definitely by tomorrow, maybe by Monday. It's a comic book video. So I did a short video that came out 1 or 2 days ago, one of those little shorts videos. And I'm doing another video. This is a comic book video. It's A through Z, or A through Z for the international viewers, where I have one comic of every letter of the alphabet. Oh, look at that. My deck is so powerful that my opponent just rage quitted. So anyway, it's a video of A through Z. There's one comic example of every letter of the alphabet. And then, of course, on some letters, I wanted to show more than one, but I knew the video was going to be long. Here's the calculation. If you have one comic per letter, 1 minute of commentary on one comic, that's 26 minutes. I would love to do a 26-minute video, but my stats show that people don't watch 26-minute long videos. So, okay, if you do about 30 seconds per video, that's still about a 13-minute long video, half a minute per comic, 26 comics, 13 minutes. So with the extra stuff added and the extra commentary and all of that, it ended up being, first pass was still like 19 minutes long. So I had to go in and cut out a bunch of extra stuff in the video, and then eventually got it down to 15 minutes. So people stick around for 15-minute long videos at the most. It's all good. You just finished carving a wooden turtle. That sounds fun. Imbue it with totemic powers of the turtle. There's a few magic cards. Form of the... There was only one for a long time. I'll load these up in a moment. And then they added a couple more recently. And we can look at those online in a bit. There's a brand new one that was just added.
Oh, look at that. It's so sad to watch you fight yourself.
Yeah, the opponent is definitely playing very linear. Just get all my mana and then cast my amazing creature, and hopefully the opponent doesn't do anything about it. But I will. And in the meantime, passing to the opponent with 4 open blue mana. Let's see if this causes a pause. Alright, we're going to have a Vivian. Now you can cast that again if you wish. Alright, so we know they're going to cast the Vivian. They're going to make a big old...
It's how you play the
creature. We'll steal it with Tempted by the Auric. Or will they go with Joda? Instead, another freaking Planeswalker. Okay. Fine. You can do that if you want.
You ever listen to the crickets? That's my kind of music. You're not scared of dogs, are you?
That is one of the most annoying Planeswalkers. Alright, so how am I going to get out of this? I need the...
Let's try this. What a refreshing thought.
I need the... Steal your Planeswalker spells. So the opponent's tossing everything that they can into this deck. Every color, every Planeswalker. So this will be a little annoying. I'm going to do another Garruk. Make 2 more Wolves.
Watch out. These woods get awful dark. We were born for the hunt.
Oh, there we go. That's exactly what I needed. That is rage-inducing. That's an amazing top deck. Actually, can I steal 2? No, I need 2, 4, 6, 6, 7, 8. Okay, yeah, this will work. If my math is correct. Now, if I kill their creature, does that make my Garruk stronger? Nope.
Looks
Okay.
like you weren't fit to survive.
I have a lot to think about.
Yeah, let's grab that Intro to Annihilation. That was that top deck. I'm always complaining about the
It's a
opponents getting
matter of
amazing top
give and
decks, but then now I got the amazing top deck. When I stole their Planeswalker and their Wolf. Well, they cast a Vivian. Fine.
My children drench their hands in the blood of my enemy. My will cannot be denied.
So this is one of those Planeswalkers that gets stronger as its critters get damaged. Pausing for priority.
Traitors, all of you. We will slay our enemies.
What an annoying set of Planeswalkers. Alright, well. And then, yeah, the opponent realizes this is annoying, so... GG, opponent. I beat you with your own annoying deck. Well, not quite, but... There's definitely one of these degenerate decks about, it's every color of the rainbow, so I'll put every Planeswalker and deal with that. And this is one way to deal with it. Alright, so I was saying earlier, there is a... Well, one more thing before we see that. There is a cycle of magic cards with one about to release with the title of Form of the... There's just another one of Aspect of... So Form of the... is running a little slow. Alright, so actually, let me load it up this way first. Take a little trip down memory lane of magic cards. So slow. Everyone must be visiting Scryfall. Did you hear about the price of Mox Amber from Dominaria went up? No. What? Tell me what you heard. $33. Well, the Meat Hook Massacre, which recently came out, that one's really expensive. That's that black artifact. But let's take a look at... So here's mtgstocks.com. Here's data from Mox Amber. Back when it debuted, it was around average 29, it claims. Then it went down for a while for the next few sets. It jumped up for a little bit, up to 18, 20, around the time of Ravnica Allegiance. Went down a little bit, then it jumped up again for the time of Eldraine, 25 or so. Went down a bit, came up a bit. Then it's been kind of a steady climb up since Zendikar Rising. Peaked right after Time Spiral Remastered, peaked again after whatever that set was, Modern Horizons or whatever that was. Stable for a while, seemed to jump up after Kamigawa, stable a little bit, and now it jumped up really big. So these are just, you know, if you go to a real store to see what they're really selling it for, it might not be these prices, but $60 or so right after Dominaria United release, pre-announcements, and so forth. You know, if we go to an actual store that sells, what do they want for it right now? $50 or so. Do they sell any? So they have their own. Okay, twiddling along for $40 for a while, and then jumps up $10, $20. So yeah, I guess mine that I've got right over there in my notebooks is now suddenly $60 or something. So I was going to show these cards right here down to Memory Lane. Aspect. We had these... Aspect cards. This is running so slow, so it's anticlimactic. Okay, here it is. So there was Aspect of Wolf. Way back in Alpha, I guess. Yeah, that was Alpha. Aspect of Wolf. 2 mana, enchant creature. Target creature's power and toughness are increased by half the number of forests you have in play, rounding down for power and up for toughness. Well, yeah, these prices here, again, this is sort of the theoretical prices of things, but then if you go to the actual store, add to cart, and you can get them for these $50, and so near mint, etc., etc. Is there any damage that I can get really cheap? Even damaged is $72, but it's a damaged foil. You have 3 in foil in your set and 2 normal. Wow, okay, there you go. keep the foil, keep one normal, and sell another one. That's not financial advice. But if we look at the data right here, steady for a while, up a little bit recently, a jump up at the moment, down a little bit. So if the trends follow, and usually they do, there's a little bit of a dip for a little bit of time and then stabilization. So right now it's probably going to go into the stabilization for a little while of the current price. You know, these prices were from the 20th, which is barely 1 or 2 weeks ago. So it's probably going to dip a little bit, but be stable at the 50s and so. And then it'll rise at some point, because everything rises. And back when it first debuted, it was 30, and now it's double. That was back in 2008. So there was a big lull for it when people didn't really get it about it costs 0, but you need a legendary. I don't care. And then Wizards print so many legendaries now that there isn't really any downside of it. So even back on that second dip down to 10, that's still higher than that first dip of 7. And whatever dips might have happened never go back to that $10 range. So prices are pretty stable. And even on that fourth dip 20, on that fifth dip 38, and whatever dip is happening now, it's still going to be in the 50s. And then who knows how else it goes, but $72 for a damaged one, supposedly here at this seller. Now this, of course, with any collectible, the theoretical prices of these things is way different than the actual prices, because you have to find someone that actually buys it. If you sell it to these companies that sell it for you, they're going to take their commission, and then you're going to lose some off of that. And if you sell to an individual person, well, that'll be, all right, well, I'll give you $50 for it, even though it's $70, and you can maybe get $70 for it, but I'll definitely give you $50. Will you take 50? And you'll say, no, I'll wait for 70, and then maybe 70 never comes. Or there's the stores that'll give you $70 for it, in-store credit, but I want cash, okay, that'll be $50. So the theoretical prices of all of these things is so much more theoretical than actual sometimes. But actually there was the card Aspect of Wolf. So nowadays it's retconned to be enchanted creature gets plus X plus Y, where X is half the number of force you control rounded down, and Y is half the number of force you control rounded up. $500 for an alpha version. The last time it was printed was in revised. Oh, actually there was a 4th edition one. Don't even remember it because it was rare. So there was Aspect of Wolf a long time ago. And then in Time Spiral, Aspect of Mongoose. And then in Journey into Nyx, I believe, or one of the Theroses, Aspect of Hydra. And then Aspect of Gorgon. And then Aspect of Lamprey. I remember that one when I got back into Magic. And most recent, Aspect of Lamprey and Aspect of Manticore. Alright, so those are the Aspect cards. There were not too many in the history of Magic. Less are the Form of cards. There was first Form of the Dragon. You have the 4th edition one. First there was Form of the Dragon, printed in Scourge. What set is this? Yeah, this is Scourge. Yeah, the site is running slow today. Unless my internet is slow, but no, I think the site is slow. Form of the Dragon. You pay 7 mana in red, enchanted creature. At the beginning of your upkeep, Form of the Dragon deals 5 damage to each target creature or player. At the end of each turn, your life total becomes 5. Creatures without flying cannot attack you. So this is trying to turn you, the player, into a dragon. Many dragons are 5/5. So your life becomes 5 at the end of your turn, resetting over and over. And when your turn starts, you automatically deal 5 damage to a creature or a player. And you can only be attacked by flyers. At the beginning, modern wording. At the beginning of your upkeep, Form of Dragon deals 5 damage to any target. At the beginning of each end step, So if you're playing multiplayer, at the end of every upkeep, at the end of every end step, you keep resetting back to 5. Your life total becomes 5. creatures with lifeline can't attack you. So there was that was the first form card. I wasn't playing during Scourge, but I know of the card. Because then later on Unstable, that's not Unstable, that's Unhinged. Then in Unhinged, there was Form of the Squirrel. Enchantment. As Form of the Squirrel comes into play, put a 1/1 squirrel into play. You lose the game when it leaves play. So there's one squirrel that you have to keep alive. Creatures cannot attack you. You cannot be the target of spells or abilities, so you get Shroud. See the modern wording. Creatures can't attack you. You have Shroud. You can't cast spells. So you have Shroud. Cannot be attacked by creatures. You cannot cast spells, so you can't even summon more creatures to help you. I guess you can do activated abilities. And there's one squirrel and you have to keep it alive. It was Unhinged, $7. Form of the Squirrel. There was Form of the Dinosaur printed in Rivals of Ixalan. When this enters the battlefield, your life total becomes 15. At the beginning of your upkeep, this deals 15 damage to target creature an opponent controls, and that creature deals damage equal to its power to you. At the beginning of your upkeep, this deals 15 damage to target creature. All right, hit their land or elf for 15, and that creature deals damage equal to its power to you. So the ward deals 1 damage to you. So your life total becomes 15, and then you're doing damage to all their creatures. Now they may have a 7/7 creature. Well, okay, deal 15 damage to it. Then that 7 damage is dealt to you. So you're going to be picking off one of their creatures every turn, but you start at 15 life, and then it damages you back directly. Yeah, this is a 9-cent card with good reason. This seems pretty horrible. Unless you have a card that's like, if you would be dealt damage, instead gain that much life. Or if you would be dealt damage, instead transfer that damage to any other target. So there's probably combos to do here, but with 6 mana. Form of the Dino isn't optional. You have to pick a fight with an opponent's creature if there are any legal targets. If that creature leaves the battlefield after it becomes a target, but before it resolves, you won't be dealt damage. If that creature leaves the battlefield after it becomes the target, but before it resolves, you won't be dealt the damage. So if somehow it gets murdered, it deals the 15 damage, and then you respond by murder, you won't get the damage dealt. In a 2-headed giant, both of you become 15, and you gain or lose life. Yeah, so Form of the Dinosaur. Okay, that was the last form card printed until the brand new unset Form of Approach of the Second Sun. 6 mana. Enchantment. When this enchantment enters the battlefield, you gain 7 life. You become a card until your library. You become a card until you leave your library or that library is shuffled. Put yourself 7th from the top, balancing the cards on top of your head. When you draw yourself, you win the game. When one or more cards fall off your head, exile them and all the cards on your head, then sacrifice this enchantment. So now you have become part of the game. Literally, because you're going to be between your deck. You take 7 off the top, put it on your head, and then there's the other 7, and now you are 7th from the top. When this enchantment enters the battlefield, your life becomes 7. You become a card until you leave your library or that library is shuffled. You leave your library means, I guess, I'm putting my library away and going home. Hey there, Stevie. We're just talking about the brand new unstable set, Unfinity, with this insane card that turns you into a card and puts you into your library for 6 mana. So let's read that again. You become a card until you leave your library or that library is shuffled. Okay, so then if you crack your fetch land, then you're not a card anymore. Put yourself seventh from the top, balancing the cards on top of your head. When you draw yourself, you win the game. Okay, so if you speed yourself up, this is of course a play. If people don't know, this is of course a play on the Approach to the Second Sun card, which is a real card that you gain 7 life. You put that card 7th from the top. When you draw it again, you win the game. Now, when you draw yourself, you win the game. And if any cards fall off your head, they get exiled, and then you have to sacrifice it. So you have to keep them balanced. I'm going to do that right now. I've got 7 cards right here that I could balance on my head, and we'll see how possible that is. I know I've got 7, but I'd have to stand up to get them all. Okay, 7 cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 2 are foils, so we'll see if that hurts. So I got 7 cards right here. I'm going to balance them on my head. I've also got headphones. Actually, I wasn't going to tell you, but I'm going to cheat. I'm going to put them under my headphones like that, and then I'm going to balance them. See? Easy. So I can't even do this because I have headphones. I guess if I do it without headphones for a moment. So here's 7 cards on top of my head. I'm going to play Aspect of... Oops, there they go already. And then once you look, then even more falls. So I guess I wouldn't be able to play this card. Pay 6 mana and gain 7 life at least, because you can't do anything besides that. I couldn't balance 7 for like 7 seconds. Technically, it doesn't say how you can cheat, because maybe you can put a flat hat on your head, and on the flat part of the hat, you put the cards. Then when you have to reach over to draw your card, you're going to drop them. So I just wanted to take a little side detour on that for a couple of cards. We'll get back to the gameplay. It's the new unset. When does it debut? It's coming soon. It was supposed to debut April 1st, and then it got... pushed back. It's going to debut October 7th. This one is even crazier. There's way more shenanigans to do in the new unset. There's way more. We might look at a couple at a certain point, but there's just there's so many. There's 344 in the main. 244 in the main set. There's just so many different new cards. Elvish Impersonator. Yeah, that was by I think he was using a fake name at that impersonator. Using a fake name. Yeah. So here's the name that was officially in the artist Claymore J. Flapdoodle. But if you were a Magic fan, a vintage Magic fan, and fan of his art, you would know automatically that was Phil Folio. Phil Folio, who did some classic old cards, Apathy, Avoid Fate, Anarchy, one of the Basal Throws, one of the cards that nowadays is racist, Yeah, cleanse. Cooperation, Conkhorn. I love the art on Conkhorn. Although that looks more Kaya Folio, his wife, than Phil Folio. Greed was one that I really liked his art. Frog Tongue. Goblin King. He did a version of Goblin King. Yeah, this one right here. Greed. So Phil Folio. Met him at Comic-Con one time. Signed my picture. Just the picture. You just like the picture. Yeah. So what does it even do? As this enters the battlefield, roll a die. Its base power becomes the first result and its base toughness becomes the second. Okay. So... Oh, so you roll 2 die and then you might get a 6/6 for 4 mana. You might get a 1/1. It was reprinted in unsanctioned. There was the original printing, and then unsanctioned. All right, let's keep on with the gameplay over here. So after the opponent realized that I was gonna steal all their cool stuff, they pieced out. Usually when people play that Joda deck, they try to play it fairly, and they play their Joda as soon as they can so they can do his ability. But this opponent was playing a little bit smarter, that he was first playing their Planeswalkers, and I dealt with them, and then the opponent couldn't deal with it anymore. You saw a clowning around card. That's what you do on the weekends. Let me look that one up. I see so many people play this Goshen Tai of Life's Origin. I don't really see them play it consistently, but I see people play that card a lot. Meaning that I don't think that I see a strat... Well, actually, I think about it now. A lot of people do play that card, but they play it... They either play it with the Shrines deck, or they just play it with a throw everything in the deck strategy. Either a Shrines strategy or throw everything in the deck. If you play it with Shrines, it can be a good deck, definitely. There's one of those Shrines. Let's do this. You like that shrine? Play it again, Sam. Fourth mana. Will they play there? Nope, they'll play that one. Fine.
A manipulation of the mind.
They're going to
This will come in handy.
either hit my Planeswalker or my skeleton with the red shrine. Target creature or Planeswalker with X. So that might do 3 at the maximum. If they play Goshen Tai, that'll make 1 shrine. They'll have 3 shrines, down to 1. They could do the 3 damage. Yeah, that's what they're gonna do. Obvious player is obvious. They'll end the turn, they'll deal 3 damage directly to Jace. If they hit the Eternal...
No.
See? Obvious. Alright, well... 4, 5, 6, 7. That's 7 mana. That's enough to take an extra turn. Let's do that.
Decisions, decisions, decisions.
Ooh, then we can steal something good. But first,
Let's think this through.
let's make a 7/7. Or an 8/8. With... hexproof. That's a 9/8 with hexproof. Then I'll tap everything. We'll give him the old Who cares? Champion, and then nothing. And then how about a time warp? Beautiful. Okay. So let's hit him with a lot of damage like this. And then we'll do it again. So, yep, if that deck comes together, it can do things. Definitely if they have the blue shrine, they draw lots of cards. The white shrine also makes lots of spirits. So, if their shrine deck comes together, it can be very annoying. The red shrine gets very good very quickly. The white shrine just makes so many spirits. Then when you've got so many shrine spirits, then you make then you do so much damage with that. But it's only creatures or planeswalkers. And then that one's a good one because it returns stuff. But this is just a little bit too much to deal with. So GG. Start another game, and then in the meantime, as we were saying over here, there's a new uncard coming out called Clowning Around. 2 mana sorcery in white. Create 2 1/1 white clown robot artifact creature tokens, then roll a 6-sided die. If the result is equal to or less than the number of robots you control, create a 1/1. Create 1 more. Oh, okay. So you definitely get 2 robots. And at that moment, you roll. And if you also get a 2, you get 3. So 2 mana to create 3 creatures if you have a lucky die roll. As I understand it. Here's another opponent with Joda again. You know, I am seeing people love to play this new Joda. And people love to play that shrine deck. So let's see how many we see. We've already seen 2 Jodas so far. Two mana. People either play that deck very slow and put every tap land or every dual land, or sometimes they get fancy that way with a mana dork. The problem with a mana dork is that it is targetable compared to a land. And then they're missing land drops. Beautiful. Okay, they're going to rage quit here because they're missing land drops. And I am really impeding their plans. And I have no sympathy if they rage quit because Joda can be very powerful and very annoying. Yep, they missed another land drop. Okay. Okay, this is... What's that line from The Simpsons? Stop it! He's already dead. See, they miss another land drop again. Yep, missed another land drop. And then they have to discard. Okay, fine. We'll put the opponent out of our misery. We'll release the Kraken. Start to build up some overwhelming odds as a show of force. Will they finally get their land drop after 4 or 5 turns? Nope. Oh, Vanishing Light. Okay. Here's what we can do. Are they going to hit the... Yeah, they're going to hit that. Okay. Let's leave it there because then we can... Just to mess with them, we'll let them play that again. And then they're done.
You've already lost. You just don't know it yet.
Yep, sorry opponent. When you play with every color of mana, you better have good... You better have good mana fixing and everything. Don't just fill your deck with every amazing card. And I guess they kept a greedy draw about, okay, I got 2 lands and a mana dork, we'll be fine. And they drew no more lands. And I kept bouncing their mana dork over and over. And then the last camel back straw, whatever the saying is, was bringing back my Jace from Oblivion. And there we go. That's the rewards of the day. I believe I heard there was something in the shop today. That might have been yesterday. I think I missed it. I think they were selling gems yesterday. All right, so there's a special event. I'm going to do that special event, the mixed up sealed. I'm going to do that in a moment. I'm going to get my drink. We'll play this mixed up sealed. We got a crack a pack to do. I got this deck that I made from that 2-card combo. Remember when I opened that other pack last week and I said, oh, there's all these cards that combo together. I also did a video on it. I'm sure you all watched it and gave it thumbs up. But I'm going to play that deck for a little bit too, and we'll craft it to make it even better. But let's take a quick break here. Everyone take a moment to stretch, and I'm going to get a drink, and then we'll play some games. All right, we are back. Got this chaos thing to do, so we'll play that. Yeah, we'll check your channel for some updates. See how the game comes along. So mixed up sealed. This is a phantom draft, so you don't keep the cards. You know what's more exciting than a pack of cards? A pack of mystery cards. Why the mystery? Well, look, some Beeble got into the warehouse and moved everything around. And now it's a mystery whether you like it or not. It's actually I'd actually appreciate some help sorting things out. And I don't mind if you play some games along the way. Thanks for pitching in. Okay, side detour. I do too much negativity on these streams nowadays, but here's another rant. I don't like it when brands do the I speech of things. To me, it's so fake, so corny. I'm such an angry old man screaming at yelling at clouds. I don't like it when the brands are like, here, is this Magic Arena? Is this Wizards of the Coast? Is this Hasbro? Like, who's saying this I? I'd appreciate some help sorting things out, and I don't mind if you play some games along the way. Thanks for pitching in. I would simply, they should just say we. There's no reason. I don't like it when McDonald's is on Twitter and TikTok saying, today I learned ketchup was invented in the 1700s. Like, I don't like it when companies and brands talk in the I sense, first person or whatever it's known as. It's just so fake to me. I know that there's a social media manager behind it all, and that is a person. But a company is the company, not the people behind it. So, rant over. The little dumb thing triggered me on that. But whenever I see tweets and content about these companies saying I fly off the handle. Let me get my drink in. Calm down. Am I the only one that feels like that, or do you all like that? If you finished your run in this weekend's run of the Arena Open, kick back with some mixed up sealed. You can enter this event by either paying the entry fee once or by entering day one of this. Once you've entered, you can play as many times. You'll receive 6 packs of mixed up cards from all of Magic Arena, and then build the best 40 card deck you can. Once you're finished, we'll find the right shelves in the back room for your cards and you can join again. See, we'll find the right sleeves in the back for you. So this is why didn't they continue their speech of, once you've finished, I'll put the cards away for you. So, can you just picture sitting on the porch yelling at the clouds? I know I'm yelling at the clouds and the poor old companies trying to engage in capitalism and all of that, so... Let's try this out. You get 25 experience. It might as well have been 0 experience. Okay, here's another rant. Okay, it costs 5,000 to enter this event, and then you get to play. Playing is its own reward. And 25 experience points, which is nothing. You get that just by turning on Arena, so that's a pittance as well. But anyway, let's play this mystery thing. Let's see what packs do we get here. It's not even going to be cool and say, these are the different packs you got. So it randomly threw out Scape Shift. This is something about lands, doing stuff with lands. We have an escape creature. Ooh, Shadrix, that's a good one. I'll probably make the deck out of that at least. It's a big old flyer. It's got flying and double strike. It's got all of these cool abilities that are May abilities. So you don't have to do these things. But at the very least, you're going to get a big old 2/5 flying double striker. Threats undetected. I think that's that's a variation on gifts ungiven, because it's even got the pose. I think it's Tamio or some other moonfolk that they're also laying down like that, giving you gifts. Here we have threats undetected. 3 mana sorcery. Search your library for up to 4 creatures with different powers. Reveal them. An opponent chooses 2. And then you pick one of them. So if you're doing some fun green stuff, you can go get cool creatures. Yeah, it's a legendary creature Elder Dragon. Yasharn, it's a 4/4 for 4. When this enters, go find a forest and a plains, put it into your hand. Players can't pay life or sacrifice non-land permanents to cast spells or activate. That's definitely some sort of hate card for some strategy, but at the least you get a 4/4 in green colors. And lastly, Tome of the Guild Pact. Okay, so whenever you do multicolor spells, you draw cards for free. 5 mana, or it gives you mana. So those are the big rares and mythics. Out of these, I like those 3 creatures. Definitely that dragon. The ox is also good because in an aggressive deck, 5 mana, you get a 4/2. When this enters, discard your hand and draw 3. So if you only had 1 or 2 cards, you get more cards. Then you can escape it for 2 red mana. You can bring it back to life and it comes back as a 5/3. Then again, you draw, then discard. So it can keep coming back in interesting ways. I like Ashran. It's just a 4/4. I don't think that other part about life and stuff will do anything. And then if multiplayer stuff is happening, we'll throw in the Tome to draw cards. Threats seems okay. Based on creatures, you go tutor for creatures, but the opponent picks which one. Scapeshift is way too big brain for me. Something about graveyard and lands and stuff. So let's see what else other cards we got. What's the best way to kind of browse this stuff? Healing Grace, instant. Aegis Guardian, a 1/4 for 2. Benelish Sleeper, 3, a 2 mana. A 3/1 for 2 mana. Kick it for 3. When it enters, each player sacrifices a creature. Each player sacrifices a creature, so it would be itself. Maybe black, white, green. We'll see how it goes. We got a Pacifism. We got a 3/1 on 2 mana. So there's a 3/1 there and a 3/1 there. We could be super aggro turn 2 if they don't have much to do, although it's very fragile. 3/1, 2 3/1s. Sergeant at Arms 2/3, kick it for 6. When it enters, create 2 more if you kicked it. Camel, a 3/2 camel. This has lifelink as long as you control a desert, or there's a desert in your graveyard. So we'll see if we get any deserts. 3/2 for 3. Dueling Coach, love the art on that one. 4 mana, 2/2. When this enters, put a +1 on any creature, including itself. Pay 5 mana, put a +1 on a creature that it's already got a +1. Pretty cool. Yeah, this is a draft. It's a random draft. It's got cards from all the sets just thrown in there. There's Ikoria, there's Strixhaven, there's Dominaria, just a bunch of sets. Inspiring Captain, 4 mana for 3/3. When it enters, all your creatures get +1. Okay, that's a cool, like, top of the curve sort of thing. You put out a lot of little creatures. And then fourth turn, or 4 mana, give all your creatures +1 until end of turn. Going for the strike. 4 mana, 3/3 Vigilance Elephant. When your other creatures come in, when this comes in, your other creatures get Vigilance. So I like these two already a lot. 4 mana, give all your creatures something right away. So I like those two a lot. So I think the white cards look good so far. We got an Explore card here. That's always fun. We got a 4/4 with Landfall. Landfall, when you play lands, tap a creature. So play some lands, tap their creatures. 5 mana. We got a 5 mana instant. All your creatures get +1. Oh, you can foretell it. So if you put it away for 2 mana, then later you only need to pay 3 mana for it. So this is definitely giving me a sort of a go wide aggro thing. 40. It's a 40 card deck. Yeah, it's a draft 40 card. A minimum of 40, of course. You can throw them all in the deck if we want. Snow-covered island, opt, counterspell, strategic planning. Look at the top 3, whatever. Bar the gate, counterspell, 2/1 flyer draws you a card. Ice pillar, it's the icy manipulator, but it only works with snow mana, and I only have gotten so far 1 snow-covered land. So not as good at all as the icy manipulator. It's not a creature, so it doesn't have summon sickness, but you need to tap it with Snow mana. Scion, 2/1 flash. Roll a die. 1 through 9 tap a creature. 10 through 20 tap it. Doesn't untap for 1 turn. Just a Homerid for 4. Oh, plus you mill. Target player mills. Okay. A 3/3, you milled him for 4. In a 40 card deck, that could hurt. I got a Merfolk, a 2/5 Merfolk. Octoprophet, 3/3, scry 2. Eel, it's a 3/3, pay 3 more, it becomes a 5/5. Griffin, it's a 2/4 flyer. When you draw your second card each turn, this gets +2. So it could be a 4/4 flyer if you draw multiple cards. 5 mana. Bounce something back to their library. 5/6 giant with flash, but it enters tapped. So you're going to hold 6 mana to make them think you got a counter spell, but instead you flash in a giant for 5/6. Demonic Vigor, give a creature +1 when it dies, bring it back. Scoundrel, it's a 1/1 when it attacks. It's a 1, so more of that aggro stuff. 1 mana. Way down, give a creature -3/3. As an additional cost, exile a creature card from your graveyard. Okay, so you have to pay from the graveyard. Ooh, Corrupt Official, this is a 1/1. Cast it, they discard a card. So you get a creature plus they discard 2 mana. Demonic Gifts, 2 mana instant. Sure. Another 2 mana instant, give a creature +1. Lifelink. Saga for 3. You may sacrifice a creature. If you do, they discard a card, then return a creature to your hand. The target opponent may sacrifice a non-land, non-token. If they don't, they lose 2 mana, you draw a card. Unburden, 3 mana for them to discard 2 or cycle. Paladin 4/2, whenever you cast a historic, they lose 2, they get 2 damage. Kami of Terrible Secrets, 4 mana, 3/4. When this enters, if you control an artifact and an enchantment, you draw a card and you gain 1 life. Witches, 3/4. Bring back a knight from your graveyard. Canal Monitor, 5 mana, 5/3. Lazarteth Behemoth, it's a 5/4 for 5. I know I should be more concerned, but a big blue zombie-potamus from beyond the stars? This is what they're invading us with? And that's Maliva Boros Legionnaire. Red cards. Daring Escape instant, give a creature +1, scry. +1, first strike and scry. Deface, destroy an artifact or a defender. Witches go with that paladin. Okay. It's a knight. Phyrexian human soldier. Which paladin? We have a human soldier, a Phyrexian human soldier, human knight. There's a knight right there. Human monk, elephant soldier, human warrior. So bring back this knight. Give all your creatures again +1. The Cabal. Which one? I believe you, but... Oh yeah, right here. Right in the same screen. Yep, so keeps coming back with those witches. Gitu Lava Runner. Red mana 1/2. If there are 2 or more instants or sorceries, it gets +1 in haste. Sneaking Guide, 1/1 for 1, pay 2. Target creature with power 2 or less cannot be blocked. Armory Veteran, 2/2. If it's got equipment, it has Menace. Dragonfire, as an additional cost. Well, here's a novel. As an additional cost to cast a spell, you may reveal a dragon card. Or choose a dragon. As an additional cost. Okay, so it deals 3 damage to a creature if you revealed This deals damage equal to the power of the card or creature. So at least it'll deal 3 damage to a creature or planeswalker. If you reveal something, it might deal more. Fire Urchin 1/3 trample. Whenever you prowess, I guess, +1. First day, pay 2. Whenever a creature enters under your control, put a +1 on it, and it gains haste. And then learn. Okay, this is one of these I have to think about it because it's an instant. Whenever a creature enters the battlefield under your control, this turn, put a +1 on it, and it gains haste. I'm probably overthinking it, but you cast your creature, and as it's on the stack, you do this? Or do you cast your creature, it hits the battlefield, then you instantly play this? Gives the +1 plus the haste plus the learn, I guess. Goblin Instigators, make 2 goblins, 2 mana. Unchained Berserker, protection from white, it's a 1/1, gets a +2, as long as it's attacking. Yavimaya Steel Crusher. 2 mana Enlist. Sacrifice this, destroy an artifact. Fearful Villager, it's a 2/3, but it flips into a 4/3 with Menace. Ardent Alchemist 2/1. When this enters, return target instant. Okay, so you get back instant or sorcery once you get this 2/1. Jaya's Fire NATO. 5 mana sorcery, deal 5 damage to a creature or planeswalker. Scry 1. Kami of Industry, 5 mana, 3/6. Spirit. When this enters, return an artifact to the battlefield. But then you sacrifice it. There's that Ox. Rapacious Dragon, 3/3, flyer, 5 mana. What enters, create 2 treasures. Unfriendly Fire, 5 mana, 4 damage to any target. Instant. Minotaur, 6 mana, 5/4, costs 1 less for each creature in your party. So this is the party, gets haste. At least, I'm starting to think some of these red cards could be very good because we've got direct damage, we've got haste creatures, we've got dragons and flyers. Maybe red might be something to look at. Giant Growth. Got that 3/3 Defender. If you've got a big creature, it can attack. So here's another thing to make big creatures. There is a mana dork, but with snowlands. Give your creature +1/+4. Tangle Trap, 5 damage to a flyer. Yeah, these green cards look weak. Instant, give a creature +5. Puzzle Knot, 2 mana. When this enters, you gain 3 life, get 3 energy, pay 3. Gain more life, gain more energy. Satisan Petitioner, 3 mana, 2/2. When this enters, you gain life equal to your devotion. You gain 2 at least. There's that Threats. 4/3 Baloth, which can get +2/+2 when you landfall. Mentor creates a 3/2 and a 1/1. Escape Shift. There you got an adventure card. At the beginning of your end step, if you had a land enter. At the beginning of your end step, if you had landfall, venture. Thornhide Wolves, 4/5. Wolfkin Outcast, it's a 5/4. Transforms into a 6/5. This spell costs 2 less if you control a wolf. When this dies, draw a card. Luxurious Libation, X spell. Target creature gets +X. Create a 1/1. Someone did this to me with a 0 mana. I was attacking with a 3/3. They had a 2/2. They cast this for 0. It created a 1/1. So then they blocked with their 2/2 and the 1/1. And my 3/3 got killed. We got an XX Scourge with 1,000,000 mana. Got some double cards in black-white. Exile target card from a graveyard, or target player sacrifices a creature with the greatest power and you gain life. Ellis Ill Core, Sadistic Pilgrim, 2 mana, 2/2, Death Touch. Whenever another creature enters the battlefield under your control, you gain 1 life. Whenever another creature you control dies, each opponent loses 1 life. Avrad the Cursed. Other legendaries get +3. That's a legendary? Yeah, that's a legendary. That could be a 3/3 Death Touch. Avrad can give it +2/+2, and also Death Touch lifelink for itself. Shadrach's Flyer legendary. That would be a 4/7 double strike with Arvid. Frenzied Erinx, 4 mana, 3/3 Riot Trample, give it +3. Riot hasn't been seen in a while. Riot. A creature with Riot enters the battlefield with your choice of a +1 counter or haste. So 3/3 haste or a 4/4. Arctic Tree Line, dual land tapped. Flower or Flourish. Pay Selesnya Hybrid. Search your library for a basic forest or plains. Put it into your hand or Flourish. 6 mana. All your creatures get +2. Sorcery. There's Yasharan. Go get some lands. Root Coil Creeper in Simic 2/2. Tap it, add 1 mana of any color. Tap it, add 2 mana of any 1 color. Spend it only to cast spells from your graveyard. Simic plus tap. Exile this. Return another card with flashback you own from exile. Oh, that's really funny. So you play your card, you flashback it. That card goes into exile. You exile the creeper, you bring that card out of exile back to your hand. I haven't seen any exile cards. Cabareti Courtyard. A fetch land for mountain, forest, or plains. There's a desert. When it enters, it deals 1 damage. Colorless. Inventor's Goggles. A 1 mana, 2 equipment. Give it +1/+2. Navigator's Compass. If you really, 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 really need to fix your lands, you play this, you gain 3 life. You tap this, your land becomes a color of any color you want, and then you got any color. Ominous Parcel, 1 mana, 2 tap, sacrifice this, search your library for a basic land, put it into your hand. 5 and tap, this deals 5 damage, or 4 damage. Spare Dagger, 1 mana, equipped creature gets +1, and has, whenever this creature attacks, you may sacrifice the dagger. When you do, it deals 1 damage to a target. So give your creature +1, and then you throw it if you want. Manalith, color of any mana, and lastly the Tome. So mana rock plus draw cards. Lots of options. I'm kind of thinking the black-white. I kind of like some red cards in there. In black-white, we've got that flyer. We've got that legend that makes all your legends stronger. We would have 3 legends. We would have 3 legends. If we throw green in there, we have a 4th legend. Green didn't seem too amazing. What about flying creatures? Surprisingly, not too many flyers. Got Shadrach's, a dragon, a couple of blue critters. How about the removal? There was pacifism. Counter spells. Totally Lost. Way down, but it's based on the graveyard. We got removal from their hand. 2 removals from their hand. Instant Tricks, which I don't love. We've got removal better in red. Dragonfire, deal 3 damage. Jaya's Infernado. Unfriendly Fire. A lot of mana. Haste creatures in red. In green, no good ramp, although there's a couple of mana rocks and stuff for mana fixing. Got an X creature. Yeah, black, white, and red, I guess. We were saying black, white, and green, possibly. Maybe black, white, and red. Let's definitely put the black, white cards in there, and then we'll see the third color, if we need a third color. And then that tome won't really... two colors is multicolored, right? Whenever you cast a multicolored spell, yeah, so if it's something is two colors... Alright, pacifism, we got these aggressive ones there, got that dragon, got that kicker, captain, Loxodon, venture, counters, maybe put those counters on a flyer. I'll put way down in there, but I'm not so sure it'll be amazing. Black, white, red. Yeah, we'll see. I'm at 38 cards already. I'm at 38 cards with just these blue. I mean, these two colors. Maybe we'll just stick with these for game one. We have a few games to play. Yeah, I'm not thinking too hard at the moment, but let's do black and white for a bit. Got some aggressive creatures, a little bit of removal. Aggressive creatures, removal, remove stuff from the hand. Double spells. I really like that 2-mana Ellis. Yeah, it's kind of aggressive. Unburden, deal with their hand. We got a few do stuff for the whole squad creatures. A little bit of venturing to scry. Then I'm really relying on that flyer. And then Arvid as well. Might remove that tome. We'll see. So we'll try it like this with the black-white for a moment. We'll see about putting in some red there for the burn. All right, got my turn to Ellis. Well, the opponent went red. Look at how overpowered... Yeah, the opponent's gonna run me over in red. But look at how powerful... Well, it's a rare. 1 red mana gets you a 1/2 with menace. 3 mana, exile 3 cards from your graveyard, make a wolf. So, I can already see that this is an aggressive deck, but... Nope, that's dead already. There's a 2/1. Okay, I guess we'll pacify their air. Well, we'll wait for a moment to see if the... We'll wait for a moment to see if they get a better thing to pacify. So here, if they attack with everything, I can block that archer and lifelink it with those fangs. But they're passing with all their mana, so this isn't going to turn out as I wanted. Alright, that's what we should pacify. Start attacking with lifelink. I have the 4 mana next turn for consume. Actually, that'll be a waste because I can't really do consume because they'll just sacrifice their mentor, which I already pacified. So I guess I'll do the other mode. We get that sleeper that we can kick. Okay, let's bring out this 3/1. I guess we'll kick it. Well, they'll just sacrifice their creature that's there. Never mind. Bring that out as is. Gain some life. Do that. I don't have anything to return, although I could go to Chapter 3. What's on Chapter 3? Target opponent may sacrifice a non-land, non-token. If they don't, then again, they would sacrifice their pacified thing. I guess that's fine. We'll jump over to Chapter 3 on that. Yeah, that pacify actually, I had a lot of good removal, but see, that was, I kind of 2-for-1'd myself, so that was not really worth it. I think it's pausing for a priority, so they might have something good. Alright, so here is living the dream. I'll probably remove that Guild Pact. Tome of the Guild Pact, it's too much effort in that I need 5 mana just to get it out, and then I need to cast multicolored spells. So let's say I cast it next turn. They keep looking at that Ellen. They don't have enough to exile from their graveyard. Exile 3 to make a wolf. They've only got 1 thing. Passing with everything. Okay, well, I can instantly give all my creatures +2/+1 here. I could live with that. Pausing for priority. That's probably their Keswick Wolf Rider. That's lethal. No, I'm not gonna do that. Psych him out with a good game. 1 card left in hand. 4 blockers. Not enough in your graveyard to create your wolf yet. Nothing to exile, but that can be cycled. Ooh, there's our flyer. Okay. We'll just hold back a moment. I guess they did have 3 things in the graveyard. Fine. One less flyer. That is probably a combat trick. If they attacked with that, we can take a little bit of damage, no problem. There's pausing for priority, so it definitely has something. Let's read this carefully. Flying Double Strike. At the beginning of combat on your turn, you may choose to. Each mode must target a different player. Target creature gets +2. Sorry, target player creates a +2 white and black flyer. Target player draws a card and loses 1 life. Hey, that's game over right there. Draw a card and then lose a life. Target player draws a card and loses 1 life, and then put a +1 on my creature. Target a player, yeah. Draw your card and lose 1 life. Are you sure? Yes. And then give my creature a plus whatever. Target a player to put a +1 counter on each creature they control. Me. And then draw your card and lose 1 life. That's definitely the read it carefully. Number 1, it's a may. You don't have to do any of these things. Number 2, you must target yourself and your opponent. Number 3, read the 3 things. And number 4, look very, very carefully. Target player loses 1 life. And the opponent had 1 life. So that's hilarious. Let me turn on the fan. It's a little warm. It's a little warm from this fire deck. Yep, nice little trick. We can say that we recorded that, and for posterity, that when would drawing a card ever be disadvantageous? Okay, I'm going to go in and remove the tome. It seems to be a little bit of a... little bit too much. Now, what about if I put in... There's an equipment. Equipment's pretty useful in that you can... give a creature +1/+2 as many times as you want. Pay 1, equip for 2, versus the dagger, pay 1, equip for 1, give a creature +1. What do we like here? 1 mana for the artifact, 1 mana to equip, give the creature +1. When it attacks, you may sacrifice this and it'll deal 1 damage. So you preemptively deal 1 damage to a player or a creature. Or the 1 mana 2 to equip +1/+2. Actually, let me also put this Scorched Desert, because it'll just deal 1 damage as soon as it hits the battlefield, 1 damage to the opponent. Kind of like it's not really a lot of mana, and so +1/+2. Let's do that. Inventor's Goggles, so even the little weaker creatures, the 3/1 can become a 4/3. Holding up pretty well. Let's keep going. Whoops, I thought I pressed play. Sorry about that. All right, got to turn to Elsa again. Not Elsa, Ellis. Pacifism. Got a camel or more creatures, although that's with kicker. I'll try to hold on to that little bit longer, although that's 6 mana. Well, 6 mana gives you 3 creatures. Oh, they managed to open an Umori fake. That is extremely lucky. Thought I froze. Well, they're at 4 mana for Umori, and then they're going to select creature, probably. And then all their creatures will cost 1 less. Now that's a 4/5. Creature, just like I said. That's got Death Touch. Probably won't want to lose that, so they'll block with that, and they'll still lose it. Ha ha. We'll get all the wins. And that was a big downside there, because now all their creatures don't get the cost reduction after losing that. Playing with 3 cards. I'm at 6 mana, so I can kick the Sergeant. Destroy an artifact. The only thing about this is that it's a 2/2. They could probably block at that point, because losing that isn't a big deal anymore. Make a treasure. So it's outlived its usefulness. And then a 3/1 Trampler with Landfall. I can kick that Sleeper. This is, again, see, I'm seeing this. When I pacify, but then that gets into conflict with these other cards about sacrifice your creature. Well, I'll just sacrifice the one you pacified, so that's a waste for me. But let's bring out this kicked Sergeant, and I've got blockers. They'll probably landfall pretty easily, make that into a 4/2, I guess. Oh no, actually it'll be +2/+2. That'll be annoying. Puppet puts and removes counters. There aren't any, so who cares? No landfall. Yep, that was a good boost. +2, +1. Well, after all that effort, they have still... Yeah, we'll just block here. That'll be okay. They're gonna have a combat trick, but that's fine. Or not. That's even better. Nice. Alright, well... Once again, here's this Braid's rightful return doing nothing meaningful. Well, I think we can make it do something. Let's kick this so that they have to sacrifice something such as their pacified creature. I'll just lose the 3-1, and then with Braids, I'll bring it back. Okay, then we have there an adventurer. We'll go into the most evil dungeon, the Tomb of Annihilation. Each player loses 1 life. Each player loses 2 life. Each player loses 2 life, and then you make a 4-4. Oops, we got a scary 5-4. Archfiend of Ifnir. Whenever you cycle, blah, 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 whatever. Okay, well, put a +1 lifelink counter on some creature. That's not enough to take anything out. So we'll go through the dungeon. Damage. Got 3 attackers. They have 2 blockers. Unexpected fangs for the final damage. If they only keep 2 blockers and I attack, nope, they're gonna do a 5-5 over here. Gets -1 for each card in my hand. Oops, okay, it's gonna be huge then. Never mind. That's a good one. This could still be lethal-ish. Or will they hold back? Okay, so they're going to hold back. I can attack. And that's not good. I should read those cards. Whenever you cycle or discard another card, put a 1 on each of your opponents. Ugh, fine. That was a mistake. If I can somehow venture 1 more time, that only ventures 1 time. If I can somehow venture 1 more time, I can definitely do that final 2 damage. If I get Shadrex on the top deck next time, I can do that exact same trick again. Not a Shadrex. And then Shadrex can't do it anymore. We were this close. I should have... I lost after I made them discard their own card. I didn't read that one creature that if you discard a card, your opponent's creatures get weaker. If I had read that, I would have cast that card that made them discard, and then I wouldn't have weakened all my stuff and then gotten me out of range. So this pacifism hasn't been really as good as you would think, because I pacify a creature, and then there's all of these spells about sacrifice your creature. Well, I'll just sacrifice the creature that's been pacified. So that's kind of a waste. I guess I'll really, really, really hold on to it when it really counts, like that flyer. As usual, flyers do stuff. Right here, way down doesn't do anything because I don't have anything in the graveyard. Beetle makes me discard. I guess I'll discard a land, or that pacify, not really. And it has to be a creature from the graveyard. So way down only works if I've got a creature in the graveyard. Well, that's gonna gum up the works. I remember this Murmuring Mystic was very good in Standard at the time. Just easily make birds upon birds just by casting instants and sorceries. Passing, and with priority. Some sort of combat trick that takes 10 years to do. Makes a bird. Got another combat trick in hand. Return it, discard. Got another instant or sorcery that you don't know how to play. That Murmuring Mystic's going to be too much trouble, and I don't have any way to get rid of it, so GG opponent, you have the Mythic Uncommon card. Well, let's switch. Let's try to liven things up. It seems like everyone's asleep, so let's go over to the... Well, I guess I'll play one more game. I was gonna do the crack-a-pack. Maybe that'll wake people up, but we'll try to play another game. I guess the opponent hates getting milled. Well, not milled, but discarded. Or they have a slow connection or something. We have a mono blue player, I guess. These sleeves were from some recent event or something, and they look nice and brassy, and a little bit of brass and some stained glass. There's been so many sleeves put out in the world of Arena that it feels like so many fall by the wayside a little bit. Yeah, so this person's definitely trying to do mono blue. You don't see that almost ever in sealed and draft and stuff. Alright, we got the 3/3 with adapt. Good old blast. If that adapts, that'll be a 5/5 instant adaptation. It might be better to keep those. To keep that eel as a blocker. Yep, and that's one of my most annoying things on playing Arena, that there's these slow players and there's no way to really hurry them up. In real life, you would tell them directly, or tell a judge or whatever. Yeah, so that locks, they might have played that wrong because it already attacked, so you either have to block it and kill your turtle or take 3 damage. So okay, I guess you can do that. 1 blocker, 2 blockers, some instant or sorcery. Got the captain, that'll give everything a +1. Adapting into a 5/5. None of my creatures can deal with that. If I can get 1 more mana. No, I have enough mana actually. But I'll put it out anyway. So we'll put this out, give all the creatures +1, go in with everything. Then unexpectedly give another +1 to something that didn't block. They have still some instant that is giving them priority. Three, 4, 5, 6, 7. Well, of course they have to block. That'll be lethal. Final card better be a good one. That's the only thing. There it is. So there it is. Return the same creature back. Okay, I guess that's a thing to do. I'll just play that dungeon card again and then hit them for 2. Right, there we go. Finally out of tricks. Yeah, let's have them sacrifice their 5/5. Attack with everything. Next turn, dungeon. That's lethal. Are you sure about that? And then next turn, cast my Explorer. They'll have to sacrifice a creature. Yep. Well, they weren't slow on the conceding, but they were slow on their gameplay. Alright, let's switch over to open up a booster pack. We'll go over here to a Dominaria United draft. This feels so flimsy in terms of it feels like the cards are kind of loose in the plastic. But unfortunately, maybe quality control isn't what it used to be. This is one of the ones that all the cards are backwards, which I hate. Alright, so we have the Yavimaya Sojourner. We got 8 mana for a 4/6 domain. This costs 1 less. Okay, so if you have 5 colors of mana, then this only costs 3 mana for a 4/6. 4 mana Coalition Warbrute. 3/4 Enlist plus Trample. That's what you need with Enlist. You need Trample. If it doesn't have Trample, Enlist isn't that good. Dual land in Rakdos colors. Tolarian Geyser, 3 mana, kick it for 1 more white, return a creature to its owner's hand, draw a card. If the spell was kicked, you gain 3 life. So at the very least, 3 mana, bounce a creature, draw a card, and then 1 more mana, gain some life. Oh, there's that Abomination. 2 mana for 3/2, but it hits you for 2 as soon as it lands. Another dual land, this time in Dimir colors. Impulse, I like the art on that. Sam Gay, probably related to Rebecca Gay. Oh yeah, I think this is Rebecca Gay's trans son that recently started to do magic art. Has a little bit of that gay, Rebecca Gay style. Alright, 2 mana, instant, look at the top 4 cards of your library, put 1 of them to your hand, and the rest at the bottom. I think that's a vintage card. Isn't that like way back in the days of... I'm curious about that. Impulse feels like it's a card from a long time ago. Yeah, it's way back in Mirage. Or Visions. I remember that art, but I don't remember the card. Look at the top 4 cards, put 1 of them to your hand and the rest at the bottom of your library, shuffle your library afterwards. Oh, look at that, the old version. Interesting. They made the card worse nowadays. Look at the top 4 cards, put 1 of them to your hand, the rest at the bottom, and then shuffle your library. Nowadays it's just put those 4 cards back. Yeah, this is technically... Due to errata, you no longer shuffle your library. This is not a draw. It's not a draw, and you're not shuffling due to errata. I don't know, it feels like they made this card worse, because there's so many strategies where you do want to reshuffle your library for various reasons. Now this one only puts the 4 at the bottom. But that was back in 2004, so almost 20 years ago they made the card worse. But back in the old days, I think that was technically better. There was a version of this that was $73 if it was the one with the first generation of foil. Visions is only 50 cents, the gold border decks, beatdown box, new art for from the vault. That art on Battle Bond, and then the most recent, which is Dominaria United. Yeah, you see that? I thought it sounded somewhat familiar, like an old card. On this very last match, it went good. The opponent was very slow, and then eventually it wasn't too close, but it was slow. But then when they realized that they were gonna die, then they quit very fast. Citizen's Arrest, 3 mana exile. Sacred Peaks. Oh, we got 3 tap lands in 1 pack. It's a draft pack. Griffin Protector, 4 mana, 2/3 flying. When another creature enters, give this +1. Then we got the Sprouting Goblin. This is the one with really weird art. If you look at that art, that art looks extremely weird. Look at that weird art. Look at that little goblin full of mushrooms on the brain. 2 mana, 2/2. If you kick it for 1 more green, you also go get a land. And then later, pay a red, tap it, sacrifice a land, draw a card. Uncommon. Inscribed Tablet, 1 mana, artifact, 1 and tap, sacrifice this. Reveal the top 5 cards of your library, put a land into your hand, the rest at the bottom. If you didn't put a card into your hand, draw a card. So if you look at 5, see, it's so funny how they have to word these things that they've really painted themselves into a corner. This should have been, look at the top 5, put a land in your hand, or draw a card. Well, I don't know. I'm sure it could be worded in other ways, but it has to say, if you didn't put a land card in your hand this way, draw a card. So either put a land in your, either you must put a land in your hand or draw a card. I don't know. I guess they know what they're doing. Never mind. We got here a foil Baird, Argivian Recruiter. This is that one card we added to that tokens deck last week with the stained glass art, which looks amazing. This is the 2/2 for 2. At the beginning of your end step, if you control a creature with power greater than its base power, create a soldier. So if you give this a +1/+1, he automatically makes more creatures at the end of every turn. And the rare is, or the mythic is, the World Spell. This is that one. In the lore of Magic, this is one of the most powerful events that ever happened in the history of Magic. And now it is a card. 7 mana saga. Chapter 1 and 2. Look at the top 7 cards of your library. You may reveal a non-saga permanent card from among them. Put it into your hand. Chapter 3. Put up to 2 non-saga permanent cards from your hand to the battlefield. I wonder why they needed to specify non-sagas. For 7 mana, look at the top 7. Reveal any permanent. So this can also reveal lands. It cannot reveal more sagas. And then on the 3rd chapter, put up to 2 non-sagas. So here's what you could also do. 7 mana, jump directly to chapter 3, and put 2 permanents directly to the battlefield. Put your 2 9/9s directly to the battlefield. 7 mana. Or go on a previous chapter to get some of them. And then a land. And the final... This is kind of funny. Be the best player in the room, because you're all by yourself playing Magic Arena, loser. That's not what they meant. They meant it nicer than that. And so we have a booster pack right there. I don't think any of these are high value, but they're fun. They do things. I don't know if I'll put them in any of my decks, but out of curiosity, let's look at the World Spell. It's about $1. And that was the Cracker Pack. So let's play this. last week when I opened that other pack and we saw, oh, these cards combo pretty well, I made a video that's up on my YouTube if you haven't seen it yet, and then I made a deck out of it. So it's still getting refined and such, but this is the Gibbering Barricade, where sacrifice a creature, draw a card, gain a life. The Novice Occultist, when it dies, draw a card, so you get double cards. When the Morbid Opportunist, when something dies, draw a card. So right here I've got the 3 things that I want. They go first. I've also got plenty of removal. So I've got all the pieces of my combo. I actually need the other one, the Viscera Seer, the one that scries. But I have a sack outlet, I have sack fodder, and I have another sack that loves it. Okay, here's the perfect curve then. Thank you for that draw. Turn 1, a sacrificial creature. Turn 2, another sacrificial creature. Turn 3, a thing to sacrifice. Turn 4, a thing that draws me even more cards as I sacrifice, plus removal. So we have Azorius colors. Let's see what we get. Human Citizen, that is a rare. We should probably get rid of a rare right away. So this will hold back on our plans a little bit. As this enters, you may choose a non-land activated ability. Scheming Fence has all active abilities of the chosen permanent, except loyalties. Okay, well, I guess that wasn't so bad. I just saw a novel written on it and I thought, nope. And then no reactions. Okay, good. Next turn here. Rafine, amazing. Okay, so we need 5 mana to kill that. Actually, we just need 4 mana. Let's kill it right away. That card is way too good. Now I'm out of removal, so I need 3, 4, 5. If I get my 5th mana, I can play the Occultist. Ooh, they got their own... Okay, there's my 5th mana. That's what I want. First, I'll attack with this. They're not going to block that. Then I'll cast this. Sacrifice it. Draw me 2 cards. And gain a life. What I also put in this deck is like one of each of like some really big scary black creatures. So I'm trying to draw a bunch of cards, and then I'm trying to draw a bunch of cards to get some big scary creatures, or removal, because I need to remove that Liesa. Come on, removal. I'm going to draw double cards here. Give me removal. They were putting out so many good... Look, their whole deck is full of rares and mythics. Mine's mostly commons, so that's a disadvantage. Shieldred is in the deck, definitely. Alright, we're going to need our removal. It seems to be pausing for priority. They might have something. That's definitely a game changer. Not removal. Okay. Well... I'm going to get greedy here. Well, they're going to counterspell me first. But I'm going to get greedy right here in that I will try to cast this. Nope. Does it really take you that long to try to counterspell? Alright, so I have the whole squad on the battlefield, which is what I want. And then right here I sacrifice... Okay, now I've got a Planeswalker. Yeah, this opponent's so annoying.
I could explain what I'm about to do, but...
Every card was like a rare and mythic, so I'm definitely at a disadvantage. I'm not going to waste my time trying to muddle through that. I would need to get a Hero's Downfall to take care of that Teferi, or another removal for Liesa, and then try to attack their Planeswalker, and I'm pretty sure that was the Teferi that you can activate every turn, so it's just way too annoying when you filled your deck full of mythics. And this is again the randomness of Arena. See, there's Shieldred, and then there's Braids So here's the whole randomness of all of this. I'm a deck that's mostly commons and uncommons, but I got paired with an opponent that had mostly rares and mythics. Okay, and then now the randomness is, okay, here, get 2 mythics in your hand. 2 rares. So the hilarious. Okay, so Braids is also that one about sacrifice your own creature to force them to sacrifice. That's another piece of the puzzle. 2 mana in black. Tenacious Underdog. Fine. Bring this out. If it attacks with that 3/2, I have a blocker which I can scry into something. I don't know if I want to bring Braids out yet. It'll be a magnet for removal. Opponent is thinking very hard. Guess I'll bring out the Opportunist, because if something dies, double draw. Have I tried out the combos yet? The Underworld Abyss and Lich's Mastery? No. So the opponent has sacrificed another creature that gets +2. They're not going to do that. Are they going to sacrifice their own 3/2 just to make a 4/4? They can recast that underdog with losing life. Or nothing. Okay. So that Flesh Taker, sacrifice a creature, give it +2. They don't really have anything meaningful. They have that wedding announcement. That's incredibly annoying. So that's how they're going to combo their Flesh Taker. They're just going to make a bunch of free vampires and then they can +2/+2. So... Scry first, then draw. They don't have enough mana to sacrifice that 1/1. They can triple block that Opportunist. Sacrifice my own creature, draw a card. Sacrifice their creature. Need to get Shieldred out so that when they draw their card or they're borrowed, okay, that's fine. They can probably pay life to haste. I guess not. Stronghold Arena enchantment. Whenever Stronghold Arena enters this, you gain 3 for each time it was kicked. They paid 0. Whenever one or more creatures you control deal damage to a player, you may reveal the top card, put it into your hand. If you do, you lose life. Okay, it's one of those things that makes you lose life. Kicked 0 times, so they don't gain any life. I'll get out Shieldred 4/5. They already exiled the other thing. Let's see if they're going to get greedy and hurt themselves. Yep, they hurt themselves on that. I guess if they also draw off of that, Whenever one or more, whatever you may reveal, then put. Oh no, it's a put, not a draw. All right, we got a. We got the life link, another flesh taker, gain a life, sacrifice, get a +2. Slow players. There's like no strategy here. I can see every line of play for them, can't they? And just passing. And that's just going to keep making, and now it's flipping over. So all the creatures get +1. So that's annoying. Okay, so we'll put this out. You have that Flesh Taker combo there. Alright, so... Well, at least it's going to stop making them tokens now. Now their creatures get the +1, the no more tokens. But all of those things are +1. No more tokens. They can bring out the Halo Fountain that does weird stuff. White and a tap. Untap a creature you control. Get a +1. Double tap. Double white. Untap 2 creatures. Draw a card. Untap 15 creatures. You win the game. People are just trying to make that... They're just trying to force that to actually do anything. Are you really going to take that long to figure out to kill my best creature? Wow, opponent. I love that they take forever to think about the obvious. Well, it's still going to give them 2 damage. Yeah, it's going well, but then I hate the opponent being so slow. And is it like that they don't know their deck? That they're paying attention to the laundry? Like, why do people waste time? I only have 1 Shieldred in the deck, so I put 1 of each of a bunch of really cool big creatures, like Shieldred. And now right here, if they attack with their Flesh Taker, then it's obvious they can sacrifice their creature and make it big, so there's like no nuance to deal with here. They'll attack with that. See, again, there's like no nuance in what they're doing here. So I could double block that. Yeah, that'll be fine. I'll double block that. So if they want to sacrifice it to just make a stronger Flesh Taker, who cares? And right here, they'll either kill one of my creatures or 2. They can sacrifice both. Okay, they didn't. They can sacrifice 2 of their whatever. Right here, yeah, draw cards if you want. You'll lose life off of that. After a while, that's going to hurt you. And then there's a Junji. That's a good one. So that's one of the big creatures. It's a big old flyer. And then also... when it dies, it... Yeah, you need white mana to do those shenanigans. So when Junji dies, I can make them discard and they lose 2 life, or I can steal something out of their side, probably that 2/2. So the big scary creatures of this deck, I have Braids, I have Shieldred, I have Junji, and one or two really big scary things. He kind of draw something great, draw something great. Nope. Yes, you can use your Halo Fountain to untap your tapped creatures. You make more blockers. You can do it one more time. You have 1 white mana. Anyway, let's attack up in the air. Yep, that opponent doesn't know how to run their deck. So I have there's a demon in here that at the end of your turn, you must sacrifice a non-demon. When you do, you make another demon. So you sacrifice one of your little creatures and then it comes back as a demon. And with this deck, I can make like 4 demons, and then by the time the person realizes, oh, there's 4 6/6 flying demons coming at me, then they quit. Alright, so right here, they're at 3 life. I'm at 11. I've got blockers. They're going to gain life from that 3/4 purifier. They can plus those flesh takers, so out of nowhere, that'll be 3, 4, 5, 6, 7... No, they can 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. They can do lethal damage right here if I don't block any flesh taker and then pump all of the... That deck doesn't even look coherent, so I don't know where they would have gotten it. It's just a bunch of mishmash. I don't really see it do anything at all. Just throw all the cards together. The only thing that's a little... and then they're gonna get Junji right there. If I had my final 3rd mana, I would have just eaten Junji with my barricade, but they top decked that removal, so that's some of that amazing... randomness. Alright, so right here they have 3 mana to sacrifice 3 creatures, so I definitely have to block their fleshies. And then this is just way too much math. I don't even want to block this. So we'll go to the next game, whatever. Don't even want to waste time on that. They're just way too slow and too much math. Because I would have had to agonize over what to block, and then they're just going to eat the thing and give it to the flesh taker. Just a waste of time. Let's go on to the next one. So I happened to top deck that removal from my flyer. That's what did me in. Here we have another one of these on curve. Conscript, Viscera, Barricade. Boros colors, cute little Ajani playmat. I'm gonna do some annoying samurai things with combat tricks, I'm sure. So that'll attack as a 3/2. So slow. Is it just me? Am I too impatient, or do I just run into all the slow players? I guess they're slow. If Arena's saying hurry up, then they must be slow. Alright, so we have a double strike 2/2. That'll be a 3/3 double strike when it attacks. I have to remove it, of course. Yeah, they're reading their own card. What does my own card do? You don't even have to worry about it. Guess it takes a long time to figure out red things can get burned. Another one. Amazing. You are a player that knows how to use red cards. They'll be able to flash back that soon. Attach that equipment. That'll be a 4 something. That'll be annoying. That'll be a 4. That'll be a 5 3, which I can't block. Alright, got some removal. 6 mana, that's the 6 mana to torch. Okay, they got greedy. They should have used their 6 mana to torch braids. That doesn't have haste. Indestructible. Okay, fine. Do not care. Doesn't know how to use their own cards. They think they got me. They'll use their 6 mana to torch braids. Oh yeah, that's your katana card right there. Oops, okay, well they got greedy right there. 4/3, I should block that. If you're gonna put cards in your deck, you should know how they work. Alright, so let's figure this out. Let's think very hard here. Help me, everyone in the chat. This is going to require all our brain cells. They're attacking, and I have a blocker. I have a 2/4, and they're attacking with a 4/3. Let's think very hard here, because they obviously have to think as hard. Should we block that creature? On the one hand, if we block it, we will not die. On the other hand, if we don't block it, we will die. I agree. Alright, if they haste that in, that shouldn't be enough. Actually, if they pay 6 for that, then they're out of mana for anything else. Oops. That wasn't enough to kill it. But I'll need these blockers because they can haste it in, and I've got blockers. Yeah, let's decline that just to be safe. So, what a surprise, the aggro player suddenly slows down. Alright, so if they pay the single red mana, then they can equip this and it'll do the thing, but then I've got plenty of blockers. If instead you channel, well, that's not enough either. They really need 3 blockers. Hard to imagine your theater you go to of finest city improv has been around 10 years. You've been part of the family 4 years. Oh, really? I didn't know it was that long. Well, that's cool. You must have seen a lot of great events there. Uh-oh, so they're going to equip that. You're going to deal some damage right there, plus a scry. Can you do some final 6 damage? That doesn't have haste. You're going to have 1 blocker left because you have to bounce the Ronin back to hand, so this is just the opponent wasting my time. And then right here, they'll just waste our time until they get timed out. Alright everyone, talk to me while this opponent wastes our time. What should we talk about? We've won the game. They have no mana at all. There's no force of will for them to play. They have 1 blocker. I've got 3 attackers. They have 2 life, so... and then they choose to block. So okay, let's waste their time now. Let's draw some cards over here. Idiot. So that's what happens when the person doesn't know how their cards work, or they're playing Magic as well as doing the laundry. So this is that deck that's the 2-card combo and such, and obviously it can be definitely improved. You know, it doesn't have very good defense against some annoying enchantment. You can deal with planeswalkers if it ever gets the hero's downfall. Creatures can be dealt with. Oh, I haven't got any of these splatter goblins yet. This is kind of cool, because you can pick off their 1/1s, sacrifice your creatures for card draw, and then also -1 their creature. Oh, that's funny. I touched the sign and then it blinked. So I ask again, am I bad luck just with the slow players or what? Creatures attacking get -1 at the beginning of each end step if you got 4 damage. Okay, so that's a really dumb card, but okay, more power to you. Well, I know why, because they're going to couple it with their other artifact. I guess that's a strategy. Okay. Creating lots of artifact fun, I guess. Yeah, this is the arena from the Kamigawa set. the samurais and stuff. I guess I should read their cards. Whenever one or more artifacts you control leave the battlefield during your turn, create a 1/1 colorless. Sacrifice an artifact. This deals 1 damage to each opponent. You gain 1 life. Okay, well, there's your first creature there. Next turn, very soon, the... eventually that gets counters for something. It deals damage equal to the number of counters on it. I guess. That's going to leave next turn and make 1 spirit, I guess, thanks to that other... 2 spirits, I guess, because you've got 2. Or not, I guess. I don't know. I don't know how your deck works. I don't know. I've never seen that deck. I don't know what it's doing. Maybe there's something really good. I guess you really want those Oni-cut cult anvils a lot. Sacrifice that and it deals 3 damage to me, I guess? Is that your strategy? I guess that's the thing, that as soon as you sacrifice that, it's going to deal 6 damage, I guess. And are they pointing to their own thing, I guess? You're telling me to look at it? Amazing. So, yeah, probably that will be the death of me. Is that what they're trying to do? Oh yeah, everything gets a -1. Okay, that's great. Okay, actually that will do something, because that'll die, kill that. Oh, but it doesn't do the effect because everything gets exiled. Well, I guess some stupid meme deck is going to be the death of me here, because now everything is getting exiled instead of going to the graveyard. And I don't have any way to get rid of artifacts, so I guess some dumb meme deck is going to get... Yeah, I won't be a party to your meme shenanigans. I don't remember what happened. That was already like 3 games ago, or more. Alright, so this is the first time in 5 games that I get to go first. What I have been seeing in all these games is pretty slow players. If I get my 3rd mana, which shouldn't be too difficult, I'll be able to sacrifice that conscript, scry. Okay, it's the zombie deck, and then I missed land drops. Okay. So, alright, see you later there. Thanks for stopping by. Another zombie. And I'm missing more land drops. Amazing. This probability of that happening is impossible. Well, at least I got a playable card here. I swear, what is it that it pairs me up with slow players? Or am I just way too impatient on Arena, but waiting that long to do nothing, and waiting this long to do nothing? And this is not even on the ladder. This is not for gold. This is not for any stakes. And then this person is losing internet connection, thinking too hard, trying to psychologically... No, they're looking at their own card, so obviously they're thinking of doing something, so I doubt that they have some earth-shattering line of play that they can't even think of what to do, but... So they're playing some kind of zombie deck. They've got Dimir colors. The ship's captain promised she'd put you safely to the Netherese ruin, but she is the one who just washed overboard. Haha. At the mouth of the sewer pipe, you realize it's massive enough that even a giant could walk through without stooping. That gives you an idea. The bones of doomed ships just out from the muck, or jut out from the muck while the bones of the sailors molder below. It's the whole herd of sloths over here. Well, tell me what we should do there in the chat. Keep playing, move on to the next player. This is just a waste of time now. And they're done. Okay. Play the deck a little bit more, maybe play one final game and then wrap it up for the night. Just about 3 hours of streaming at the moment. Try to win one or two before we wrap up. The opponent is named Kitty. Oh, check it out. Here's the gingerbread sleeve from a long time ago, and then when you try to interact with it, she'll kill you. He's fine. He's about to be 2 years old. Sometime in October. Very frisky, and I remember when I first got him, he didn't know his own strength. He holds back a little bit. He's still very frisky and a jungle cat, but yeah, in the most recent in the most recent weeks he hasn't been hanging out much in the room here for him to be on stream. Hopefully they don't get one more pacifism on that and I can finally stabilize. Amazing. Notice that most players are playing green-white tokens deck. Depends on the mode. I think maybe in the mode I was just at, I haven't seen this Pirates deck in forever. I remember a long time ago when we were trying to, me and Stevie, play some of his decks with the Pirates. Wonder why he doesn't play anymore. Alright, leading with a lightning bolt. Or nothing, that's fine by me. Let's do some shock and awe here. How about a 7/7? Well, they missed the land drop, so might not be the best victory, but they'll see if they can catch up. They just need to do a shatter, and then they'll be back in the game. Looking at my graveyard for some reason. Oh yeah, because this guy can get bigger when he explores from my graveyard. Okay, fine. You don't need that. Oh, they kept that on top. Okay, I guess. You're tapped out. Combat trick. Nope. This is the part that makes everyone rage quit. Alright, so I got a lot of great artifacts. They need to destroy all of that. Dire Fleet Poisoner, who cares? You should probably hold back blockers and not go so aggro. Fine. Yeah. Don't know what they were trying to do. Going too aggro. So if it had come back to my turn, I would have played Mirror Box to be able to copy legendaries. Then I would have played Eye of Vecna or Servo to go get Sculpting Steel to copy my legendary Pharaoh statue. So then all of their spells would cost 4 extra, and then 2 loss of life at the end of each turn. They looked like oh, I'd already closed it. I didn't see which one it was. Was that Xander, the one with pointy horns? Well, I guess we'll wrap up at this point. Played that Chaos Draft a little bit. Checked out that mono black draw deck. Played a final game over here. Cracked a pack. I'm gonna work on this other video that I was saying. I have this video coming soon. Maybe tonight, probably tomorrow. 26 comics A through Z, A through Z. One for each letter of the alphabet in a certain theme. And then I also released that magic short. So I'll have some other videos coming soon. Maybe if people want to put, or if you want to put it right now in this chat or think about it for later, maybe some ideas for more magic videos. I don't feel too inspired on magic videos, just because making brand new decks and all of that takes a lot of brain power. And the other kinds of videos, I do some of those top 5 most valuable cards. That's not too much effort and it gets a few views. But to like do the really advanced deck techs, I feel it's so much effort to do a really good deck, and then it kind of comes and goes because people just want something new, and Wizards keeps putting out so much new products so often. They're already doing spoilers for the next set. Who cares about this one that just came out 2 weeks ago? They already did some spoilers for ones that are coming out in the next 2 or 3 months, plus Infinity and everything. So I just feel that the pace of making new videos is just, you have to have this as your full-time job. And I kind of feel like just the short videos, the 1-minute long ones, are enough brain power that I have for. Everything else takes way too much effort, and then it's swept under the rug because there's new stuff. But if you have any ideas, you can put them in the Discord. And I'm also going to be doing other videos that I'm also interested in. So thanks for stopping by, and we'll be back on the next stream.